want to thank everyone. I'm just really surprised that I'm even here this year. Caught me off guard quite a bit, but everybody's support from the first year, and I want to say thank you to the 20% that voted for me the first year, that kept me on the ballot so I could work my way up slowly. So thank you to those guys, and thanks for everyone for supporting us. We all appreciate it, especially me and Edgar, guys that have been on the ballot for a few years, and it's a tremendous honor. It's a long time since I sat in a press conference with all these cameras flashing in New York, but it's just as exciting as it was the first time I came, and I'm thrilled to be considered with the other great players in the game, with the guys I'm sitting with, and thanks to everyone, and congratulations to my teammate and my new teammate, and to the Halliday family, and it's a great honor. Thank you.
Do you have one favorite moment, accomplishment, memory on the field that sticks out to you as you sit here today?
The relief appearance in the postseason game in front of him, that the now manager hit a home run for us and won the game. That was, I'd never been asked to do that before. It was, it's Game 7 of the ALCS, and the place is packed. It's Yankee Stadium, and I have to jog from the bullpen to the game mound in the midst of the game, and I don't do that. I walk in before everybody's there. People haven't got in from work yet. That's when I go out and I walk or jog to the mound from the dugout, not from the bullpen. So to get in there and do that with my heart pounding in my chest, and being able to and be effective and get a strikeout and a double play to get out of that inning and give us a chance, and pitch a couple more innings and give us a chance. That was a big part. And then obviously the very last day of my career in Fenway Park, we got rained out the day before. When I woke up, the ceiling and the clouds were probably 300 feet off the ground. It looked like it was going to rain again. We're supposed to play a split doubleheader to end the season, and Girardi asked me which game I wanted to pitch, and I said, well, if we're going to play one, I got to pitch that one. So, and I got to pitch. I threw well and ended up winning my 20th game, the only time I won 20, and the last day of my career. So those two things really stick out for me anyway. Those are my two pretty memorable moments. I did a lot of almost things, I think people would say. I had a couple almost no-hitter. I had a couple shots at no-hitters, a perfect game. I almost won 20 a couple other seasons. I almost won the World Series. I almost didn't make it to the Hall of Fame. But I did, so yeah, that's my almost story. I can live with the other almost, because I get to sit up here now. My minor league career was interesting, I would say. I was only there for a year. I started in Double-A in Hagerstown, Maryland. First bus trip, I got my luggage run over by the bus. So that's how it started for me. First game I actually pitched, it rained so hard they couldn't get the tarp on the field. So I pitched 2 innings, and so it didn't really count. So I got 2 debuts in the minors, which doesn't happen all the time. And they just let me pitch though, and they tried to teach me a few things, and I talked to some older players, and that's kind of how you do it when you're young. You just try to learn whatever you can and let some of the older guys help you, and that's all I tried to do. And I got lucky and got an opportunity at a young age, and when they gave me a chance, I did okay, and I got to stay in the big leagues, and that's pretty much how it happened.
Tyler Kepner with the New York Times. Mike and Edgar, we touched a little bit on Edgar's battles with Mariano, but Mike, as you mentioned, he handled you pretty well too. You obviously had a ton of weapons to go after.
That's why he's sitting up here, Tyler.
Yeah, right? But you had a ton of weapons to go after hitters with. What frustrated you about Edgar, and what, from a technical standpoint, made him such a tough out? And Edgar, if you talk about Mike too.
Well, I think the guys for me, and for Mo and for Doc and the guys that are willing to use the field from the left field line to the right field line, who don't want to pull the ball all the time, who don't want to hit the ball off the fence all the time, who just, the phrase is they take what we give them. And if I throw him down and away and he's going to hit a line drive to right field. If I try to throw him down an inning, it's a line drive to left field. You know, he just, and he had that ability. He saw the ball that well, and it didn't matter what I messed. I could have a different order of pitches. I could have tried fastball first, breaking ball first, got ahead in the count, got behind in the count. It didn't matter. When you're successful and as good a hitter as he was, then you just, listen, I'm going to throw it in the middle and hope he hits it really hard right to somebody, because if I try real hard and he still gets a hit, then it's just going to make me mad. So, and honestly, sometimes you do that. I say, listen, I'm going to throw a sinker right down the middle, man. Just hit it in the first 2 pitches and let's move on, because you're going to get a hit anyway. So, and that's the truth. And so, I mean, I don't know what my numbers were against him. I mean, we all know what Mo's numbers were against him because we brought it up when we got here. And he only had 1 pitch. I mean, come on. He talks about minimizing his pitches. He had 1 pitch. Cut her in, cut her away. Cut her in, cut her away.
Hang up.
He threw 1 sinker his whole life, 1 time. But you don't do what he could do and frustrate us as starters and pitchers like he could if you weren't willing to just take our best stuff and put it wherever you wanted to put it and not trying to do too much with the ball. And that's how I survived for as long as I did. Guys try to hit the ball off the fence too much, and I get in the ground ball to short or fly ball to center, and that's how I survived. And Edgar didn't do that. He just took a line drive to right field, and it's worked for him, and it drove in a ton of runs, and like I said, it frustrated me to death. So that's why he's sitting up here. He did that to everybody. I never really stood in the outfield and ever talked to Doc about pitching. I know he had I just thought tremendous stuff. I think he had a very heavy ball, and when he learned how to sink it and cut it, it really changed how he pitched and how effective he was and what he could do. And I mean, I bump into him once in a while in the weight room, and you know, he's more than focused on what he's trying to get ready for the next turn or whatever was going on, and you know, I never really had a chance to sit down and talk to him, but obviously he was there to pitch the whole game every time he took the ball, and it was his turn, and he was gonna stay in there as long as he possibly could and try to really stick it to you, and he did it a lot, and it was impressive to watch him throw.
For all 3 of you, are you surprised at how much the way the game has played has changed since your retirement? The rise of relief pitchers, the lessening emphasis of starting pitchers, the huge increase in shifts. And is that good for the game, do you think, or good for the fans, or good for the players?
We don't have enough time to talk about that. I was a starting pitcher, so it's the game's changed. The game always evolves. It always has. I'm not sure I love the way it's changed lately, but that's just the nature of it. If you can't, as a starter, if you can't get deep in games, you lose opportunities to win games, and you won't pitch as many innings. There's a whole list of things that happen. So, I'm as a starter, I'm not a huge fan of the way it's going, but you know, I'm not the one making the decisions. I'm an old guy now who just played a bunch of years ago, and that's just my opinion of it. But we could talk a long time about how the game is changing. Obviously, the situation is unique. I almost split my career down the middle with 2 organizations. I told you yesterday I can't. Right now, I couldn't sit here and choose one over the other. They're both instrumental to me sitting here. So I think we've got a little bit of time here to talk it over with the Hall of Fame and with the people there, and I think all of us put together will come to the right decision, whatever it is. But as I sit here right now, no, I have not decided. And thank you for the question. And I did want to bring one more thing up. If he's buying dinner for somebody and
For me.
for you, and somebody's,
do too.
well, I don't know, but who? How many times did I set you up so you could sit up here?
Let's take it to dinner.
I think I'm really close to having the most. He saved the most games for me. It's close. I think Pettit might have passed this when he came. So I think you take me someplace. That's what I think. Olive Garden. That's right. We're going Olive Garden. We're going Italian, man. Let's go.